This week, on Across the Arrowverse, Supergirl saw the return of an old flame, The Flash was one to think about, The Arrow gave thanks, and in the Legends, Sarah was conspicuously absent. Hi everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Matthew Vose, and I'm joined as always by Catherine Kay.
Hi everybody.
This week we are discussing the episodes Supergirl, Wake Up, The Flash, Therefore I Am, The Legends of Tomorrow, Welcome to the Jungle, and Arrow, Thanksgiving. What order do you want to address these in?
Maybe Supergirl first?
Okay. What did you think of Supergirl this week? So we saw the return of Mon-El.
Yeah, it made me sad. I mean, I kind of knew Mon-El was going to come back, because why else would they have had those dream sequences right at the very start of the series? There was definitely going to be something about Mon-El and something about her mum. And I don't think the new mother thing has quite come to fruition. I think they've dropped in some appearances of the new actress playing her mum throughout the series, so that when she does turn up, or in some way, we don't just go, who's this new character?
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I kind of thought somehow she'd be getting Mon-El back, and he would be back as her Mon-El.
Her beau.
Her beau.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the whole Mon-El's got a new bird storyline.
Part of it is problematic because we've only seen part of it.
Yes.
We've not yet seen the detail about what's happened to him. We don't know where he's been, who this woman is, what their connection is. Because there is a world in which they write this and it's a legitimate love story, and now we've just got to deal with some trauma because suddenly Supergirl's back in his life.
Yeah.
I suspect it's not going to be that easy.
Well, I'm a little bit disturbed about the fact that he's been sort of in suspended animation for 12,000 years, apparently.
Possibly. So certainly what they talked about was he'd gone towards the 31st century, which is the... Oh, I'm going to get this wrong because I can't remember. The Legion of Justice? The Superhero Legion? The something Legion. Legion of Heroes. I can't remember. And we've even seen their ring, their insignia, in the Fortress of Solitude last season. So there was an implication that Superman had been and met them in the future.
Okay.
So it's now implying that Mon-El has met them and formed something with them.
Right.
So this is bringing in more comic book lore.
Okay.
But yeah, there's also that reference to the capsule's been in the rock for 12,000 years, so...
So what, did he get stuck in another wormhole and get slung backwards in time too far?
Maybe. I mean... It's hard to imagine unless there's another show that deals with time travel a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. This could be the... I can't remember what Earth she is. The Earth 19 version of the Legends, maybe? But
yeah,
we'll find out.
I did like slightly more serious Mon-El, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beardy.
Yeah, beardy, a bit more serious, a bit more responsible. I was like, oh, this is a Mon-El that I could quite fancy. Shame he's married to his new
new
future
lady.
bird.
Yeah. Yeah, you had said you knew he was coming back. And I think the way he came back, we were all expecting some sort of time travel in there. But yeah, they've not explained it yet, so I'm not sure what's coming. There were a lot of secrets for a lot of this A-plot. So him just, not even lying, not even not saying, he was just mute.
Yeah.
And they were letting him get away with it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's quite earned that from them, given how mysterious this was.
It was a little weird, wasn't it? But then I could understand why he would be mute, because he'd be a bit like, well, what is happening? What can I say? Also, potentially waking up after 12,000 years might leave one a bit groggy.
Yeah.
Dunno.
Yeah, maybe, but it didn't seem that, because there was a point where I thought it was going to be either an amnesia story or he's not Monel.
Yeah.
But very quickly he says her name and he knows who she is. So they were letting us know, no, this is our Monel. This is just something is going on with him. And she even had the line, truth never hurts as much as secrets.
Yeah.
Which could be the motto for these shows, frankly.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
I was pleased she hit him, that she found out his secret really quickly.
Yes, yes. I still don't think we found out... Well, yeah. Hit him, got that forced drama over with.
Yeah.
Or at least progressed as quickly as possible. I don't necessarily, as you say, we've not really found out exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because I've written down here, is he now a space taxi driver?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what's going on.
But that is possible. Like, it's possible he's not part of this group. He's just moving them for reasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is more in that story to come. I liked her cutting back about him deciding what was in her best interests. That's good. That's good to call that sort of thing out.
Yeah.
I was pleased about that. But by and large, plot A is undergoing, so I'm not sure I want to make a judgment on it yet.
I agree.
They had to reintroduce him, and if there has to be trauma, this was not badly done. No. Plot B, John's dad.
Love it.
Wasn't that great?
Lovely. I was worried at the start.
Yeah.
I found the sort of that toilet scene at the start. It was funny and sweet.
Yeah.
But it was quite sad. I was thinking, is it dementia or
there was a hint of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, the culmination of that, the humanising of John.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very lovely.
Yeah. I loved the bit about the brown water coffee.
Coffee.
That's probably joke of the week.
Yes.
Across them all.
Yeah.
That was very, very good. But just the way they had the discussion at the end, that John has realised that he's had nothing to live for, effectively, so he's lived for his work, which is a valid way to go, and that he has been doing worthy work. But now he has his father, he has a different thing to focus on. And it was handled really nicely.
Yeah.
Carl Lumbly is excellent as his father.
Yeah, and they've written his father as a very savvy man.
Yes.
He might not know everything about Earth, he probably doesn't very much about Earth, but he knows about people.
Yes. Gentle, but very wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, really liked him.
Yeah.
And then our plot C was Sam.
Indeed.
Realising she possibly has powers, confronting her adoptive mother, and finding out she basically has the same backstory as Kara.
Yeah.
And then going out and creating the evil Fortress of Sanctuary. The rock version of the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortress of Sanctuary is a dreadful name.
Is it worse than Fortress of Solitude?
I think I have become accustomed to Fortress of Solitude. I thought that was shonky when I first heard it, but because I've heard it so much and it is now a thing, like Birmingham's a thing, I'm just used to it.
Fortress of Solitude, Birmingham.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Fortress
it's just the name of a place.
It's just the name of a place. Whereas the Fortress of Sanctuary is a new thing, and I'm just like...
Because Fortress and Solitude work because they're both fairly forbidding, they're fairly strong and intimidating words. Sanctuary does not go with Fortress.
Especially as these are evil people.
Evil, she shall reign.
I shall destroy them all.
And at the end, she has now become evil, it seems. So could this be a Caitlin Killer Frost thing?
I think this is all about how motherhood saves everyone and softens even the hardest heart.
Yeah.
Because both of her mothers, the adoptive mother and the weird, evil, spacey mother, are very much, your daughter's an aberration, she's a mistake.
Got it. And
her daughter's very much the most important thing in her life.
Okay.
So I think there will be a daughter getting through the hard-hearted rain monster thing.
Are we going to be tracking what her daughter does with her? To look out for the setting up of that or something unexpected with that?
Yeah.
Because that would be quite nice. Yeah. Okay. What next?
Well, be Flash.
Be Flash next?
Be Flash.
Be Flash. Not a C flash. A B flash. Therefore I am. So this was properly establishing where in Supergirl it was plot C was the overarching plot long villain.
Yeah.
This was plot A. We are now introducing our bad guy. We are now letting you know who he is and his history and seeing him against the Flash.
Yeah. Is he bad?
Well,
because none of his drivers for why he wanted the weird brain thinking cap, none of them seem to be to pursue nefarious aims.
No.
I don't know what his aim is now.
Yeah. I really liked that he was coming at Barry through human terms. He can't fight the Flash. If Flash wanted to take him down, it would happen. But he is actually disassembling the societal structures around Barry.
Yeah.
The police force, the investigation, the trust of his friends.
Yeah.
And it was working.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's better than... Because part of the problem with Flash is we've now had 3 seasons of faster and faster speedsters as the villain.
Yeah.
So now we've got someone
very
different doing a very different thing at him. And I appreciate that for the show.
And I've got a total girl crush on his wife.
Yeah, she's excellent.
Yeah. He's a bit like meh.
Yeah,
Whatevs.
he's clearly very smart, but we've seen that story done with particularly Lex Luthor a lot. We've seen it done in a couple of the other shows with just generally smart people, and we've seen it in Marvel with some very smart quasi-hero, quasi-villains.
Yes.
Basically everyone in Marvel is a super genius. Robert Downey Jr. and Spider-Man and Bruce Banner and...
Yeah.
yeah. I was quite interested how they hadn't hinted at a romance between him and his wife before. We hadn't seen that they were anything other than villain and sidekick.
Yeah, and the scenes that they initially showed of them as a pair in their dungeon, the scenes very much painted her as his subordinate in those earlier scenes. Whereas, whilst even in this episode, pretty much everything she did was to pursue his dreams. And so she was very devoted to him.
Yeah.
I don't see her as subordinate to him.
No. He relies on her and he needs her.
Yes.
So we have an actual establishing of this as a partnership.
Yeah.
He's the one with the scheme, whatever it is, and is going after it. And she knows that he will do that, but he needs her.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be where they go for his downfall. He goes too far and she turns against him.
Quite possibly.
Because they've not set her up as villainous yet.
No, she just loves and supports her. She's like uber clever, uber supportive wife.
Yeah.
But I don't know what his aim is.
Yeah, that shoe is definitely still to drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved the first sequence where Joe and Barry were speaking to him and the wife. Because the room was so well lit. There was warm light from all the lamps. There was bright sunshine coming in from outside, why have they got the lamps on? But
yeah,
it was so different, certainly than their lair, their dungeon, and generally so different than any other villain thing.
Yeah, I think they were using the lighting to show how innocent and loving and warm this household was.
Yeah. We had the appearance of a previous villain, because we had the flashback to January 7th.
Uh-huh.
And we had Eobard Thawne as Harrison Wells.
Yeah, that was fun.
So that was the same sequence we've seen before, up until the point Barry runs after the bag thief. But then we have the new sequence with the DeVoes, and just his moment of, I'm a great admirer of your work, good luck in your future endeavours. Great.
Yeah.
Great. That's how you use time travel. Just, this person knows a bit more, so use it.
And I must admit, that is the thing that has made me think that Mr. DeVoe's aim is a bit nefarious. Because if Eobard Thawne was a fan, it's probably not something we want happening.
Yeah, definitely agree. We had some good moments from Iris, giving orders, leading the team. Yeah.
Again, cool, confident, in control Iris.
Yep.
She's coming to her own.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that they stopped trying to pretend she wants to be a reporter.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can't remember. Was there a plot line that she got sacked, or is they just stopped doing that?
Savitar killed people at the paper. Didn't he kill the boss of the paper? Who knows?
Who knows? But she's doing well in her current role.
Yeah. Sticking with the family, Wally's back.
Yeah. Don't know why.
Great. Well, I suspect I know why. Next week's the crossover episode. So if there's ever a chance for him to join another show or move somewhere else.
Okay, and he's found himself. But he found himself and he dealt with some kind of alien?
Giant starfish from space, which is one of the Justice League's classic villains, Starro. This has not been shown, this has not been a thing anywhere, but that description means it's another villain that we've seen in the comics.
And is that supposed to just be a mention? Or
yeah. It's now canonical that he's fought this thing, but that's about it.
Okay.
So, just a side reference. No. He's had his own adventure.
Oh, good for Wally.
Every week there seems to be some sort of Marvel reference in The Flash, and this week The Flash uses the phrase, "My spidey sense is tingling." They are not afraid to crib from their biggest competition, are they?
No, basically.
I mean, it sums it up, and it is an expression we'd all use.
Yeah.
Or those of us who are, mad comic book geeks.
I'd have used that.
Yeah. Yeah. We know what it means.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's a phrase that's in common parlance well outside the comic book world as well.
Yeah, true. But the main plot, obviously, this week was all about DeVoe. And that scene at the end, the showdown between DeVoe and Barry, was a great villain introduction. He had no fear, and he was just scaring Barry with how he was talking at him.
Yeah.
That's good. That is better than all the showing of force that we've had from the previous villains.
Mm. Yes, I am genuinely interested in DeVoe.
Yeah.
In a way that I really wasn't with some of the other ones.
No. And interesting that we end on the comment about him letting the wedding happen. So, he's not going to be a thing in the wedding. Because did you know they're getting married next week?
When was that?
Oh, they're getting married in a week.
What, next week?
1 week until the wedding.
1 week to the wedding?
They're labouring the point a little bit by now. Okay, so on to the legends. We were in Vietnam. This time, bringing down Grodd. And that's good. That's a character they have used well in Flash. I've always enjoyed the Grodd episodes because he's been a proper villain, but the heroes have understood his history and where he's come from, and that you have to treat him differently.
Yes.
He's not just effectively a very muscular version of another villain.
No. I mean the whole telepathy thing, the mind control thing with Grodd. That's very interesting and far more scary and powerful than him just being a big old gorilla. Yeah,
definitely.
So yeah.
Sarah was in a coma for most of the episode.
Yeah, Sarah had a week off, didn't she?
Yeah. I wonder if where I said last week the ensemble was quite good, did she have to do a bit more? And are we about to see her do a bit more with... Sarah and Alex sitting in a tree?
Ooh.
Yeah?
Maybe. I don't know.
I was just thinking, where would they go anything and pair her up with someone from another show? Well, Arrow's easy, but we've done that. Flash, maybe, but... I'm not sure, but actually when I think of Supergirl, there's a few characters in Supergirl I could see her pairing up with well. Interesting. We shall see what comes of that.
Yeah.
The main plot was Grodd, but actually the plot about Rory's father took up a lot of space in this episode. This was possibly one of the first ever Mick Rory episodes.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't think it was bad. I quite liked it. I found the way that the actor playing his father was desperately trying to speak like Rory. I found that a little irritating, if I'm honest.
It's almost like the Mitchell brothers from EastEnders.
Yeah.
We're in a comic book.
I'm an angry, angsty soldier. It was a nicely crafted tale.
Yeah, but about a character we don't really care about, and who I've said this season has been used quite well as largely comic relief, but comic relief with shades of grey.
Yeah.
Not bumbling.
And there's something slightly disturbing about, hey, I burned my father to death because he was
Yes.
awful to me. Oh, it just turns out that he had PTSD from being in Vietnam. Whoops, I still burned him to death.
Yeah.
There's something not... I mean, obviously it didn't tell it quite like that, but something's not quite sitting right with me with that.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to skip over that a little bit, just whistle past it.
Because I think we're all supposed to feel quite affectionate and fond of Rory now. And I kind of do.
Yeah, but not
But
to
I'd
sympathise with him.
forgotten. But I'd forgotten about the fact that he burned his family to death when he was a child, and remembering that makes me feel less comfortable about finding him an amusing and sympathetic character.
I'd agree.
But yes.
Just touching on the rest of the ensemble a bit, Zari is clearly the best written character in this show, still.
And she stands out.
Yeah.
She's like a sort of a shining light in the midst of a dim and dreary dross.
She calls them out on their rubbish. But she accepts it. She's not just having a go at them in the same way. In some of the other episodes, they point out people's flaws in a mocking way. This is, you're all terrible, but that's what we do, so that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
no, she was...
Yeah.
I like her.
I don't know where the Firestorm story is going. I don't know whether it is they are getting rid of Firestorms, they can do less CG work, if they are actually going to split them up, if they're both going to leave the ship.
I have a prediction.
Go on, I like this.
I think Victor Garbo is leaving.
Okay.
I think he'll be gone by the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in their splitting up of Firestorm, they will lose the normal Firestorm power, but the other half of Firestorm, whose name I've just completely forgotten, Jefferson, will be left with some form of power that's slightly different.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay.
That's slightly different and less expensive to produce with CG.
Because we already have someone who can throw fire in Mick Rory.
Yes. But they have been building Jefferson up to be useful even without Firestorm.
Yeah.
His
And that was the point
engineering
this week.
skills, his intelligence. He is one of the savvier crew members.
Yeah.
So, but I do think he will be left with some form of power.
Yeah.
But it will be a different form of power.
Okay, I will enjoy tracking that.
That's what I think.
And I quite liked that they have identified that they are meeting their ancestors, if not younger versions of themselves, that clearly something is going on here. This makes me feel like the villain of the piece, Malice, whatever he is called, that there is something more going on with him now, that he is beginning to make his presence felt.
So we've got Malice. Will Malice turn out to be Damien Dark? Or
did he? Are they the same thing?
I don't know.
Either way, whoever it is, I'm beginning to feel like there is an actual plot going on here rather than just we need to fight him and take him down.
Yeah. Yes.
The other thing that was key in this episode was lots and lots of Grodd puns. One nation under Grodd. There is no Sarah, there is only Grodd, in a nice little Ghostbusters reference.
God.
They've never done that before that I noticed. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah.
Nice.
And then moving on to Arrow. He got arrested in the FBI lady who appears to have a massive vendetta against him.
But then she's disappearing off and leaving it in the hands of someone else.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
John is now severely compromised and possibly cannot be the Green Arrow anymore. So what does that mean? And I like that we called it out a few weeks ago that he should not have asked him to do this thing.
No.
And he now appreciates that no, he shouldn't have done it and it was a bad thing to have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But John was desperate to be it, apparently.
Yeah. That's a slight retcon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's totally true. The referendum went against them.
Yeah.
So vigilantes are now outlawed. I feel like this might be repositioning them to make Arrow a legitimate force, working within the confines of law enforcement in some way, so not necessarily being vigilantes, because that's how you end Arrow. You can't just end this with, and then they fought crime in the city forever. I don't think. This isn't Angel. So, if they turn it into, and they became a legitimate force working with the police, that's the way you could wrap up this series in this season or the next.
Yeah, and allow him to be Arrow and Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what that does to his promise to his son.
No, that was a bit flaky. He blatantly lied to his son this week, so not enjoyable.
Yes, the old Oliver Queen school of parenting, not the new Oliver Queen school of parenting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meh.
During the episode, everyone was fighting. Curtis was fighting with Felicity. John was fighting with Oliver. Everyone was falling out in general. And it reminded me of the Flash episodes from before last season's crossover, where they found out Flash had changed history and that suddenly Cisco's brother was dead, John's child had changed, Caitlin had her powers, and so on.
Yes.
And they started falling out because of that. It felt like they were setting up that same thing to bring some forced conflict into next episode's crossover. But then they resolved it and everyone was happy and friends by the end of the episode.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy the episode.
No.
But remember, we're not talking about Arrow to talk about Arrow. We're talking about Oliver, Felicity and his son.
Yeah. Well, Felicity was a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
In falling out with Curtis. Oliver and his son were a bit rubbish. Thea woke up.
Yeah.
I was going to comment on it anyway. I was gonna call out that Thea hadn't been in it in a while, and suddenly she's awake. So, well, they finally have another woman on the team.
Maybe she's
in the cast.
Maybe she's finished filming whatever movie that she was contracted to do.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
Guest spot on Grey's or something.
I haven't seen her yet, but
the two other things I want to comment on. I've noticed it in recent weeks. The action filming has definitely changed in Arrow. Mm-hmm. They are now doing, I think because they have a larger ensemble fighting hand to hand, they do this one-shot camera moving through a battlefield and then moving backwards, and you see people coming back in and fighting. So there's a lot of choreography going on at once, but I quite like it. It really gives you a sense that there is a larger scale fight going on. So appreciative of that. I wanted to call out a couple of things from across the shows. There were two very good Superman references. One was in Supergirl, where she had to go down and she said, I once saw Clark do this and I wanted to do it, from Superman 1. And in Legends of Tomorrow, there was the great bit where Grodd turns up and he says, kneel before Grodd.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Nice.
We like a Zod reference. Nice. Every time.
Yeah.
So who do you think, which show had the best week?
Supergirl.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Just, but not because it excelled.
No, I think the reason I'm saying Supergirl is for the same, and I'm going to say this person as the person who had the best week, is for Ja'an's dad.
Yeah. I think Ja'an and his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That story was very well handled, and it could easily have been an A plot, but it was a B plot and still came across very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
So that wraps us up for another week. If you have thoughts, questions or comments, you can use the hashtag ATAV on Twitter or find us on Twitter, Facebook or Instagram as Eloquent Gushing. If you want to help support us, please check out our Patreon page where you can get access to exclusive content across all our shows. Go to patreon.com/eloquentgushing and visit the homepage eloquentgushing.com to find out about our other shows and more things you will enjoy listening to. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next week for the big crossover. We'll see you across the Arrowverse.
Across the Arrowverse is an Eloquent Gushing production. For more shows you'll love, please visit eloquentgushing.com.